Hi. So what I want to talk about is Andy's no dig beds, but these are my old traditional dug beds. So this is where my onions were this year. Look at all the weeds. So what I want to do with this bed, take a step back and give you a bigger scene, is convert it into a no dig. So the actual bed structure's there. So I'm going to take through the next couple of videos, the next few days, how we convert an established bed that's really weedy into a no dig, and also use the opportunity, because I put this bed in 8 years ago probably, to convert it. So the challenge I have with this bed is once everything's growing, I've got two sides, but I've got really poor access. I've got this thing down the side here, which is just chaos. Weed City, it's on bed of gravel, but there's lots of soil below it. I've got an old box there, an old trough that is falling apart. So if I move it, it'll completely collapse. So I need to think about this section to help me get into the back of the bed. I need to think about access to going into the bed so that I don't have to tread over crops, or if I get the access there, it might work. The other thing I want to note is right at the back of the bed, nothing really grows that well because we get a lot of challenges with sunlight, because I've got a homemade melon house, growing house at the back there, you see. Never get any melons out of it, but it's quite funny. So I'm thinking of putting or using the back perhaps as an opportunity to get some access, and also trying this. So as you know, I like wormeries, worm feeding zones for the soil, but this is a new idea, for me at least, where if this was buried into the ground, it's quite big, up to about there-ish, I could put my kitchen waste into here. But what this does, unlike a normal wormery, it's supposed to keep the material in here as it slowly composts down, and it gives me a bucket full of compost. I have no idea how long it takes, but that could be a really good way of also feeding the bed with compost from the top. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to stick this in here, provide some broad access there, so that can be my access to the back, meaning I can work over this bed, part of the bed at the top as well. Sort all of this out, get rid of this divider, think about how I might be able to put a second space in to let me walk up the bed at least for easier access. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to redesign the bed, because I haven't for years. Great opportunity. Clean it all up, recreate it as a no-dig bed, introduce this rather interesting gadget I got off the internet, which would be amazing if it worked, to create compost. Also the size of it, if you look at the rest of the bed, I've got quite a big bed there, so that worm feeding space should mean that the worm's coming from all directions and should hopefully cover a lot of the other bed space. So that's my plan, that's my new weekend project.